Hi there, it's Julie with SteamCat, and Happy New Year! Yay! So have you ever wanted to be able to just hit a button on your desk and share your status out with the world? We're going to show you how to do that. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back, and Happy New Year again, and thank you for your support, for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and for those of you who have tossed a coin to your crafter on Ko-fi. You've helped pay for a new camera. Yay! This is going to help me focus better on the workbench. Hopefully things won't be as blurry as they have been in the past. And I'll be working on sound next. We're getting there. Today's project uses an Adafruit MagTag. It has an e-ink display, it has buttons on the bottom, and NeoPixels on the top. And on the back, we'll look at this briefly, it has an ESP32 chip and a battery port and several other ports. It's actually a pretty powerful little device. The only thing is the e-ink display is not designed for real fast updating. But it's great for a status thing, like how many sporks do I have left to give? And I'm using sporks because, yeah, we don't want to do anything too adult here, because this channel is for everyone, I hope. Let's take a look at these buttons. Notice they're cleverly labeled. Reset resets the number of sporks to give to 5. The up and down buttons will reset the number of sporks to give to this. I just press the down button, that goes down to 4. We can also empty the spork bucket and set it completely to 0. I have some sleep statements in here to keep from slamming the server for too long, which is why it takes a while to update. This is something you can change, particularly if it's just a thing on your desktop. You don't need all the sleep statements. So we'll just go on and show you more about this for the time being. I programmed this in CircuitPython with the Mu editor, MU. It's free, and I used some basic example code and took it from there. We're using a protocol called MQTT, which stands for MQ Telemetry Transport. That's a mouthful, but it's a primary protocol for Internet of Things devices. Let's say you had a little like thermometer or something and you wanted to update the temperature to a web page every minute or hour or whatever. You would probably use MQTT to send that. And here's where we set up the MagTag. We have a count here where we initialize the number of sporks to give at 5. We have a maximum count of 10. You can set these numbers however you want. My minimum count is 0, and we also set the previous count to be the same as the initial count because we're going to be doing some comparisons in a minute. And then we have the swear string. I'm calling mine sporks to give, but yes, I normally call it something more adult. And there it is. The next thing on here is talking about a secrets.py file. That's where all your credentials go. And you want to keep those secret. If you're sharing your code out, like I will be on GitHub, you don't want to accidentally expose your usernames and passwords. So that's what the secrets file does. And here's where it's connecting to everything and setting everything up, and you can look at this on your leisure on GitHub. And here's where we set up the text on the MagTag. This is the swear string, the sporks to give, and the count, which is 5 at this point. And then this sets up the text that goes over the buttons. And of course, any of this you can change yourself to do whatever you want. So this is, you know, freely fixable, changeable code. So here's the big loop that does everything. The first button is A, B, and C, and D, of course. If you press that, it resets your number to 5. Very simple. If B is pressed, it looks at your count and adds 1 to it, and then sets this to your source string plus the count, and sleeps for a second. If C is pressed, that lowers your count by 1. If D is pressed, it sets your count totally to 0. You know, if you have no more sporks to give, you mash that button. So the next thing we do are just a couple of things, because I don't want to go above 10 or below 1 for my count. So when I get to 0, it'll show a -1 briefly and then say, hey, your bucket is empty, and reset to 0. If I'm at the max of 10 and press the plus button, it will go all the way to 11 and then say, oh, your bucket runneth over, and go back to 10. So, you know, you can set this any number you wish. And then here's where it compares the count, and if it's the same or if it's changed, it decides whether to send it out to the Adafruit IO site, which is what we're going to look at next. Here's Adafruit IO. This is sending this is updating the feed every 5 seconds, and it doesn't. You can go faster, but they have a limit of 1 update per second or 60 per minute, because, well, that's their limit. If you want more, you can pay for it. And every broker is going to have their own limit. So that's one reason I have all these sleep statements in here, because frankly, if I'm sitting here and, you know, if I haven't smashed the button for a while, there's no reason for me to keep hitting the server a whole lot. So now here we go. Julie has 5 sporks to give, and the background is blue. This is the web page that shares my status, and we will go look at. This is the code where it updates, and this is the big JavaScript block that takes everything. That's the JSON feed. This picks apart the JSON and basically looks at the number and says, I'm going to set the background color based on the number of sporks that are available. If there are 0 sporks left, the page will add a random phrase. So if we go back here and I refresh this, by the way, the page is set to refresh every 5 minutes, but you can always refresh it when you want. Look at that, my spork budget is depleted. The bucket of sporks is empty. Anyway, you get the idea. It's a fun little project, and you can change these phrases to whatever you want. Like I said before, you can fix it so it says I'm available for a Teams or Zoom call, do not disturb, whatever you want. It's up to you, and this code is pretty easy to change. And like I said, I'll have it out on GitHub so you can look at it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, share and enjoy, and Happy New Year again, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.